I dropped my wife off at the airport, thinking it was just another routine business trip to San Francisco. Just another Thursday night, a quick goodbye, and then the week would pass like any other. She leaned over the center console, kissed my cheek briefly, and whispered, "Drive safe. I'll see you Sunday night." Her tone was casual, professional, the same as every other trip she'd taken. I nodded, told her I loved her, and watched as she disappeared into the sliding doors. I didn't see the lie walking away. Behind me, my 8-year-old son, Noah, was unusually quiet. Normally, he'd chatter endlessly, pointing out everything he saw or asking 100 questions about the planes and passengers. Tonight, though, he sat silently, fingers twisting the strap of his dinosaur backpack over and over. His eyes didn't leave me, and when he finally spoke, it wasn't a question. It was a warning. "Dad, please don't go home tonight," he said. I turned slightly, catching his small hand gripping my forearm, stronger than I expected. His voice trembled, and I felt that strange chill parents get when they realize this isn't just a child being dramatic. "I know something about Mom," he added. "You have to believe me this time." This time. I froze, those words cut straight through me, because I remembered the other times I didn't believe him. 3 nights ago, he had seen a dark car parked across our street. I told him it was probably a neighbor. 2 nights ago, he heard a strange conversation on the phone at 2 a.m. I said it was a dream. Last week, he said someone was watching the house. I dismissed it all. I had been wrong before. And now I could see it in his eyes. Pure terror, not anxiety, not imagination, real fear. I took a slow, deep breath. I'm an engineer. I calculate risk for a living, and in that moment, the math was simple. Risk of believing him and being wrong. We waste the night. Risk of not believing him and being wrong. We don't wake up. I changed lanes, headed away from home. "Okay, Noah," I said quietly, "I believe you, and I'm sorry I didn't before." He exhaled, relief flooding his features. The tension in his small body eased just a fraction. Across the street from home, we parked in the shadows beneath 2 tall oaks. The house, our house with the blue door, the maple tree swaying outside, looked normal, peaceful, ordinary. Noah rested against the window, exhausted. His breathing evened out, but sleep didn't fully come. Minutes stretched into hours. At 10:45, I began to doubt. Maybe it was nothing. "Buddy, maybe you misheard something. Maybe we should just—" "No," Noah's voice snapped, wide-eyed, urgent. "Please, just a little longer." Then I saw the shape. A van, dark, no lights, rolling down our street, stopped in front of our house. 2 men climbed out, all black clothing, hoodies up, faces obscured. They moved with precision, no hesitation, professionals. I reached for my phone, my fingers shook. Then one of them pulled a key from his pocket, my house key, the deadbolt turned, soft click. They walked inside. I couldn't breathe. The fire. Flashlights swept the rooms. Sharp chemical smell hit me, accelerant, flames bloomed within minutes, windows cracked, smoke poured from multiple rooms. Noah clutched my arm, silent tears streaming. "You saved us," I whispered. "You saved our lives." The house burned. 2 years of memories, 2 years of planning gone. The aftermath. I had no choice. I couldn't call the police immediately. My wife, Madeline, had a perfect alibi, cameras at the airport time-stamped. If anyone knew we were alive, she would vanish. We needed proof first. I grabbed the burner phone hidden in my glove box. I had to find evidence. Madeline's betrayal. The next morning, while Noah slept, I went back to SeaTac Airport. The silver Civic she drove was in long-term parking. I used my spare key. She didn't know I had it. Inside the car, the smell of accelerant lingered. A burner phone with texts that revealed everything. 5 days ago, "I can't keep living this lie. I want to be with Chad. Insurance money, fresh start." 3 days ago, "Leave the key under the back doormat. They'll handle everything Thursday night." Collateral damage. She called our son collateral damage. I took photos, screenshots, receipts, everything. Proof that she had weaponized my engineering to kill us. I forced myself to calm down. No panic. Engineer mode, check, document secure, evidence in hand. Now plan. A dangerous plan. I contacted my father's old friend, attorney Lillian Hart, who had warned me years ago. I told her everything. Fire, arson, the key, Noah's warning. She listened, calm and precise. She said, we need her voice. A confession. We set the trap, public place, cameras, undercover police. She thinks I'm dead. We make her talk. I practiced the plan. I prepared for confrontation. I prepared for betrayal. But nothing prepared me for what came next. I woke before dawn. Noah was still asleep, curled up on the motel bed, the same soft, even breathing he'd had all night. I poured coffee into a styrofoam cup and sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the evidence spread across the small desk. Screenshots, receipts, burner phone messages, blueprints of our home with red markings in Madeline's handwriting. Every line, every circle, every note reminded me she had studied my work for months, learned exactly where to sabotage, and weaponized my engineering to kill us. My stomach churned. Attorney Lillian Hart had given me a simple instruction. You need her voice, Liam. That's how this ends. Evidence is strong, but a recording in a public place where she doesn't realize you're alive, that's airtight. I sipped the bitter coffee, engineer mode activated, planned the approach. The setup. Capitol Hill, Saturday morning. The coffee shop we picked was small, crowded, and filmed by security cameras. High ceilings, exposed brick, the scent of roasted beans and warm milk. Perfect. Undercover officers posed as baristas, a couple at the corner, and one with a laptop. Detective Tom Wilson, 50, experienced, salt and pepper hair, voice calm and unwavering, stood outside monitoring the audio feed. I checked the wire under my shirt. One slip, one wrong move, and she'd disappear again. She'll come, Lillian said. She needs to know if you're really dead. Desperation is the key. She'll confess if she thinks it's just you, no backup. I nodded, and Noah's. She doesn't know he survived. Keep it that way. Safety first. The arrival. 9:58 a.m. The bell above the door jingled. I saw her immediately. Black dress, minimal makeup, hair pulled back tight. The grieving widow act. She scanned the room, searching for the supposed fire investigator. Then she saw me. Her eyes widened, recognition, confusion, shock. Her mask cracked. She froze mid-step, and someone bumped her from behind. She didn't move. I whispered, barely audible, "Hi, Madeline," surprised to see me. Her movements were slow, almost mechanical, as she sank into the chair across from me. Trembling, hands reaching for mine. I pulled them back slightly, wire intact. "Where were you?" she asked, voice wavering. "The house, the fire, no one we thought." No words from me, not yet. The confrontation begins. I slid the first piece of evidence across the table, the burner phone messages, clearly printed and time-stamped. Her eyes flicked from printout to printout. The first words caught her like a punch. "Leave the key under the back doormat. They'll handle everything Thursday night." Her face went pale. Then I pointed to the next one. "Collateral damage. You called our son collateral damage." Madeline's jaw tightened, a flash of panic. She looked around. Customers glanced at us, some curious, others pretending not to notice. This can't be real," she whispered. "Oh, it's real," I said, my voice calm but every word heavy with accusation. "I have your texts, your receipts, your plans. I even have the notes on my blueprints." I slid them across the table. Red circles, arrows, handwritten notes detailing exactly where to sabotage our home's gas system. Her breathing quickened. Her eyes darted around. The stranger across the room, the fire investigator, was really me, alive. Detective Wilson's voice crackled softly in my earpiece. "Keep her talking, open-ended questions, let her justify herself." Her motivation. I leaned forward. "Tell me why plan to burn your own family alive?" She laughed, bitter, cold, empty, not the woman I married, not the mother of my son. You never noticed, Liam, she said softly, almost sadly. I've been suffocating for 15 years, dying slowly in that perfect life you built. Her voice grew sharper, almost venomous. I married you because I was 28 and desperate, safe, stable, boring, but safe. I thought having a child would make me happy. I swallowed the bile rising in my throat. 10 years of IVF, she continued. Needles, procedures, failures. I played the mom, I smiled, I held Noah, but inside I felt nothing. Obligation, burden, collateral damage. The air grew colder in the cafe, though the morning sun streamed through the windows. And Chad, she added casually, almost like she were discussing groceries. He saw me, really saw me, made me feel alive. So I wanted out, insurance money, a new life. We could start fresh anywhere, Hawaii, new names, free. She leaned back, hands folded, calm, calculated. I tried to speak, and the house, the fire. She shrugged. I studied your engineering, learned where to sabotage, make it look like an accident. Chad hired the men, 50,000 in cash, Thursday night, perfect timing, untouchable, alibi guaranteed. I swallowed hard, knuckles white around my cup, my own work weaponized to kill us. And Noah, I asked, my voice shook, your own son, collateral damage. Her eyes met mine, cold, without remorse. He was a reminder of you, an obligation. Quick death in his sleep beats years of therapy and resentment. The confession recorded. I activated the wire slightly, giving a subtle tap to ensure Detective Wilson was receiving everything. She continued, unaware. I wasn't leaving him behind, just a reminder of you, a burden, quick death. I sat back, letting the words sink in, every syllable, every detail, the plan, the cash, the professionals. The coffee shop was silent now. People around us were watching, sensing tension. I forced myself to remain calm, engineer mode, record, observe, document. Wilson's voice whispered in my earpiece, we've got it all, hold position. She had confessed, every detail, audio proof, everything I needed to ensure justice. The arrest. Then from the corner of the cafe, officers moved in. Uniformed, visible, professional. Madeline's eyes widened as she realized the trap. She tried to leave. Madeline Harmon, you're under arrest, one officer said calmly. Her entire face changed. Panic, disbelief, fury, then a fleeting flash of relief. I could see it, relief that the charade was over, that she no longer had to pretend. Detective Wilson stepped forward, badges out, hands steady. Attempted murder, conspiracy, arson, insurance fraud. You set your family up. You planned their deaths. She screamed at me once, eyes burning. You were supposed to be dead. I said nothing, just watched her cuffed, led away. The woman I married, the mother of my child, was finally facing consequences. The evidence trail. Afterward, Wilson and Lillian went through everything. Burner phone with texts. Receipts of cash. Blueprints with sabotage markings. Witness accounts from the arsonists who had been caught and cooperated. Insurance documents. The prosecution's case would be airtight. Noah remained safe, unaware of the full magnitude. The fallout begins. I called Noah into the room after the arrest. He climbed into my lap, small and tired. Is she going to come back? No, I whispered. Not for a long time. Nobody can hurt us now. You saved us, buddy. You warned me. He hugged me tight, nodding slowly, relief washing over his face. But even in that moment, I knew the story wasn't over. Madeline's betrayal left scars deeper than the fire. I had to rebuild everything, our home, our life, our trust. Cliffhanger, the trial looms. Even with her confession recorded and the evidence secured, I knew the legal battle would be brutal. A defense attorney could argue the texts were fake. She could claim coercion. She could try temporary insanity. We had proof, yes, but the next stage would test every bit of courage, every ounce of patience. Noah slept quietly that night. I watched him. Every peaceful breath felt like a victory, but also a reminder. The woman I trusted most, who vowed to protect us, tried to take everything, our home, our lives, our son. And the next chapter would decide if justice would finally be served. The courthouse loomed over the street like a giant gray sentinel. I gripped Noah's hand as we walked inside. At 11 years old, he had grown taller, more cautious, eyes wary from what he had endured. But his courage remained. Without him, none of this would have been possible. Attorney Lillian Hart led us through security, her calm presence steadying my nerves. Detective Wilson followed, reviewing notes with his usual meticulous focus. The trial would last weeks, but every piece of evidence we had gathered, the burner phone, the receipts, the blueprint notes, the recorded confession, would form an airtight case. The trial begins. The courtroom was packed the first day. Cameras, reporters, friends, and family filled every bench. Madeline entered last, flanked by her defense team. She wore a composed mask, black dress, hair pulled back tight, the same professional facade she had worn the day of the fire. The prosecution laid out the timeline. Text messages coordinating the arson. Cash withdrawal evidence. Blueprint sabotage notes. Phone records. Confession captured at Capitol Hill coffee shop. The arsonists who had been caught and turned state's evidence testified in court. Each described her instructions, the payment plan, and the careful execution to make it appear accidental. The evidence was precise, damning, and undeniable. The most compelling piece came when Detective Wilson played the wire recording. Madeline's own voice, calm and calculated, confessed to hiring the men, planning the fire, and calling Noah collateral damage. Even her defense couldn't argue against a direct confession. Madeline's defense fails. Her attorney tried every tactic, claiming temporary insanity, emotional duress, arguing coerced confession. None held. The wire recording, combined with physical evidence and witness testimony, left no room for doubt. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. When the verdict was read, the words hit me like ice water. Guilty on all counts: attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, arson, insurance fraud. Madeline was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Chad, her accomplice, received 20 years in a plea deal after providing testimony. The judge addressed the court, stern and resolute. Attempting to harm a child, your own child, cannot be tolerated. Justice will protect the innocent. Life after the trial. Walking out of the courthouse, Noah squeezed my hand. Dad, it's over. Yes, buddy, over, I whispered. For the first time in years, the weight lifted slightly. But the trauma, the betrayal, the loss of our home and sense of safety remained. We had survived physically, but the emotional scars were deep. We didn't go back to Lake City. The plot, though insured, carried too many ghosts. Instead, we found a smaller house in Greenwood, one story, all electric, no complex systems. Noah helped pick it out, small victories giving him a sense of control. We moved slowly. Every night we checked locks, every door, every window. But panic gave way to routine, and routine gave way to normalcy. Healing and therapy. Noah's trauma was significant. Dr. Beatrice Wells, a child trauma specialist, guided him through therapy. Nightmares decreased, hypervigilance became routine caution, and trust slowly returned. My own therapy addressed survivors' guilt, trust issues, and the challenge of teaching engineering safety without reliving the trauma. I returned to work, but not at Boeing. I took a position at the University of Washington, teaching engineering safety and malicious system use. My students didn't know the personal lessons behind each class. They thought I was intense, meticulous, and passionate. Noah, now 12, thrived at school. Friends, basketball, homework, his world slowly returned to normal, but he remembered he had saved us, and we both carried that knowledge forever. Letting go. Months later, Noah found a letter from Madeline in the mail from prison. He asked me if he should read it. No, I said gently, you don't owe her anything, you survived, that's what matters. We talked about forgiveness. I explained that forgiveness wasn't excusing her actions, it was releasing the weight from our own hearts. I hadn't forgiven her, and likely never would, but I had let go. That distinction mattered. Noah nodded, understanding far more than his age suggested. He had learned vigilance, courage, and the power of trusting his instincts. Rebuilding life. We rebuilt slowly. The new house became a home filled with laughter, safety, and routines. Noah played basketball with friends, slept soundly at night, and smiled more often. I taught not to design systems for homes, but to teach others how to prevent catastrophic failures, how to anticipate malicious use, and safeguard the innocent. My tragedy had become my mission. And yet there were moments, like the scent of smoke, a loud bang, or a fire truck passing, when the memory hit. I had survived. Noah had survived. But the world we thought we knew had shifted forever. Lessons learned. I often reflect on the night Noah warned me at the airport. 8 years old, trembling, desperate, and yet unafraid to speak the truth. His instincts saved our lives. I teach my students now, systems fail when small cracks are ignored. Relationships fail the same way. Listen to your gut, pay attention to warning signs, and don't dismiss your instincts, especially when it comes to those you love. Noah saved us, yes, but I learned too. Vigilance, courage, and trust are vital. And even in the aftermath of betrayal, life can be rebuilt. Epilogue. 3 years later, Noah plays basketball on our Greenwood porch, 11 years old, laughter ringing through the air. He carries scars, yes, but also resilience. I watch him sipping coffee from the mug he gave me. World's best dad, crooked letters, but perfect meaning. He asks, Dad, do you ever think about Mom? Yes, I say, not the way I used to. I hate what she did, but I let her go. I'll never forgive, but I won't carry the weight anymore. Noah smiles, me neither. He pedals away to meet friends, free and safe. We survived the fire, we survived the betrayal, and every day we wake up safe, alive, and together. That is victory. Noah warned me, I believed him, and because of that we live.